You hear the word entrepreneur thrown around all the time, but what does it really mean? It's so much more than just having a good idea, right? Today, we're going to break down that entire journey, from that first little spark of an idea all the way to making a huge, real-world impact. Okay, so let's just jump right in with a big one. What is the actual difference between a business owner and an entrepreneur? I mean, they sound pretty similar, don't they? But trust me, that distinction is absolutely crucial, and it's really at the heart of everything we're about to discuss. And to get to that answer, we've got to figure out what an entrepreneur actually is. This isn't some new, trendy job title from Silicon Valley. The concept has been around for centuries, with brilliant thinkers trying to nail down what exactly makes these people tick, what makes them such powerful agents of change. Let's go way back, like all the way, to 1755. This guy, Richard Cantillon, gave us one of the very first modern definitions. And for him, it all boiled down to one single word: risk. The entrepreneur is the original risk taker. They're the one who says, I'll buy all this stuff at a price I know today and just hope I can sell it for more at some unknown price in the future. They are literally staring into the face of market uncertainty. Now, let's fast forward almost 200 years. Joseph Schumpeter comes along and drops this bombshell of an idea: creative destruction. And this is a total game changer. Suddenly, the entrepreneur isn't just someone who takes risks. No, they are a genuine market disruptor. They're the one who looks at a perfectly stable, established system and thinks, you know what? I'm going to tear this down so I can build something new and way, way better in its place. And that brings us into the modern era with the legendary management guru, Peter Drucker. He saw the entrepreneur as an opportunity hunter. They're not just sitting around waiting for change to happen to them. They are actively out there, constantly scanning the horizon for change, and when they spot it, they don't just react. They pounce on it and turn it into a business. So if we stir all of that together, the risk-taking, the creative destruction, the opportunity hunting, we land on this. An entrepreneur is someone who creates new value by embracing risk, by innovating to shake things up, and by just relentlessly chasing down opportunities. That combination, that's the magic formula. Okay, so we've got a handle on who they are, but the next big question is why? Why on earth would anyone choose this incredibly difficult path? Well, it usually comes down to one of two key drivers. On one side, you've got push factors. This is when you're basically pushed into entrepreneurship out of necessity. Maybe you lost your job, or you just can't stand your current one anymore. On the other side, you've got pull factors. This is the magnetic lure of an idea that's just too good to ignore, or that deep desire for independence, or an opportunity that's just screaming your name. So, are you running from something or running to something? That's the difference. But it's not just about motivation. It takes a certain kind of mindset to actually see this through. Entrepreneurs tend to have this high need for achievement. They're always setting goals. They are action-oriented. They'd rather make a move with 70% of the information than wait around for 100%. They're comfortable with a bit of chaos and ambiguity, and they take calculated risks, not reckless ones. And maybe above all else, they have this fierce, driving need for independence.
All right, so we have the person and the motivation. Now for the how. How do you actually get from a little idea on a napkin to a thriving real-life business? It might look like total chaos from the outside, but believe it or not, there's often a pretty clear roadmap.
It all starts with the idea, obviously, but then comes a super critical step: figuring out if that idea is a real opportunity. A lot of ideas aren't. If it passes the test, then you build the actual business plan, mobilize your resources, funding, people, make it all official by registering the business, and then the real work begins, managing and growing the thing day in and day out. Of course, that roadmap is never, ever easy. It's more like a gauntlet, honestly, filled with challenges. And understanding what those obstacles are is the first step to actually getting past them. And these barriers, they can come from anywhere. Sometimes they're individual, you might not have the right skills yet, or you've never seen someone who looks like you succeed at this. Other times the barriers are environmental. You can't find funding, or the local infrastructure is terrible. And hey, even if you're trying to innovate inside a big company, you can get shut down by bureaucracy and a culture that just resists change. So, with all these obstacles, why would anyone take on this journey? Because the impact of succeeding, for you, for organizations, and for entire nations, is absolutely immense. And let's be really clear about this. The risks are huge, but it's the sheer potential for reward on the other side that fuels this entire journey. First, we have to acknowledge what's on the line personally. We're talking about a completely uncertain income, the very real risk of losing every single penny you've invested, grueling hours, sky-high levels of stress, and the crushing responsibility of knowing other people's livelihoods depend on you. It is a lot.
But the payoff? It operates on every single level. For the individual, it's the freedom of being your own boss and the chance to build real wealth. For an organization, it's the innovation that gives them a competitive edge. And on a national scale, entrepreneurs are the engines of economic growth. They create jobs, they drive prosperity. This is why it all matters.
Which brings us to a final, crucial question. After seeing the journey, the mindset, and the whole process, what do you think? Are entrepreneurs just born with some special spark? Or can anyone learn to navigate this path and develop the mindset to succeed? It's a question worth pondering. Thanks so much for watching.